Hey guys, welcome back to part 5 of coding asteroids in TypeScript. Today we're gonna add some asteroids on our screen so our screen doesn't look so empty. If we get some time, we'll also take a look at bullets. So let's get started. I'm gonna jump back into my code editor. Go to main.ts. And actually before I go into the asteroids, before we work on the asteroids class, I have some few fixes from the last episode. So when we did the thrust calculation here, I forgot to scale our acceleration by delta time. So we want all our physics to be derived from the delta time. Yeah, so we just want to have it consistent here and scaled based on our time step. And we gotta do the same thing for player angle as well, actually, because any sort of movement you're doing, right? You want to base it off of the delta time. So what we can do here, we can define another constant to say sure, we can just say this. Okay, we can define that up here. We can say maybe 5 or 1. Let's try 1 and then we will see. Okay, that's way too fast. Let me reduce it to 0.1. Way too slow. 0.4. Still a bit high. Okay, 0.3. yeah, this looks good. Let's check our velocity and thrust. I mean, it shoots kind of fast, but I want to give it a little bit mass, like it's accelerating instantly almost. Where is our mass? Here. We can try a little bit higher. Maybe 10. Okay, I think that's a little bit better, but we can decrease our thrust. Okay, it's a little better. All right, let's actually get into the asteroids stuff. Okay, so in the original game, right, there are weird shapes of asteroids. So if you see here, right, you see this one shape here, and then there's another type of shape here. You might see some other shapes here, and they also come in different sizes. I think there are 3 different sizes. So this is, I think, the biggest one, this is the medium, and these ones are the smallest ones. So what happens if you actually shoot them, right? So if I play this clip, yeah, the smallest ones disappear, but if you shoot I think if you shoot a big one, yeah, they split into 2, the smaller size. Okay, we're not gonna do the collision detection and shooting bullets this time. Today we're just gonna focus on drawing and creating some asteroids. So okay, let's go back. Let's go back to the code, and I'm going to create a new class called Asteroid.ts. And yeah, I mean, for our player, right, we didn't really create a class, and it's just like a pure object. And we can do that later. It's not a big deal. So for Asteroid, we can start with a class. Now what's gonna happen in the Asteroid class, right? So Asteroid needs the position, right? It needs velocity. We need to know what size it is out of the small, medium, large. So maybe we can have that as an enum here. Asteroid size, small, medium, large. And what else do we need? Since they come in different shapes, we can have a shape ID. We can have an enum for that as well, but we can have different multiple shapes, right? So we don't want to keep changing the enum variants. I think number is good for now. These need to be this, and I think all of these can come from the constructor. Okay. All right, so now we have position, velocity, size, shape ID. We can, okay, I think that's okay. That's good for now. We're gonna have two methods on this. One is the update, and we'll also have a draw. Right, so this we can encapsulate the logic in here. For update, we can pass in the delta time from our parent class, and yeah, in here the bare minimum we can do is we can just do this dot position is equal to this dot position dot add. Okay, we don't have add, so let's actually define add. I think we didn't do that last time. We can say add other, or we can just say operand vec2. So this will return a new vector with this dot x plus operand dot x, this dot y plus operand dot y. Okay, save that. Let's go back. We can say this dot position dot add, this dot velocity. We gotta scale the velocity by delta time. Okay, this looks good. Asteroids also wrap around the screen, so it's similar to the player. You know where we did the this logic right here. I think bullets are gonna wrap around too, so maybe we can take out this logic here and then replace it by some common function. We can say apply basic movement to this. We can define a new class, new file here called movement, and can create a new function here, apply basic movement. You can paste that here. I mean, it could be multiple entities, right? So, and we have player here. So what we can say for now is entity is of type player. We don't have a player type as well. We can do a hack for now. We can just say type entity is entity, and we also want to have some options to if you want to wrap or not wrap, because some things might not wrap, right? What kind of things don't wrap? For example, I think if you have those saucer ships that come in later in the game, I don't think they wrap. They just go from one end to the other. So we can have that as a boolean here, and we're gonna say we actually need delta time here, and we're gonna replace all the players with entity, and we'll say if ops.wrap we're gonna say if ops.wrap, we will do wait, first I need to import width and height from view. Okay, and need to import Asteroid as well. So I'll do export Asteroid, go back, import that. So this is just a hack. We will convert entity to a class, a base class for all for player asteroids bullet. Okay, the reason why I use an object here is just for readability. Like you could just have a boolean here as that works too. It's just that when you call this function, having passing in wrap true, it just reads a little better. Okay, so now I gotta go back to the player and do basic movement, and also do another hack here. I will do we will change this in a bit. Apply basic movement, and I'll pass in our delta time, and I will say wrap true. Okay, so this is our game file. Let's do one thing, because you don't have access to this, right? I mean, we can pass in player for now, but kind of want to put the game state in its own class, and I have this player separate out, but we'll leave that for another episode. Okay, now I'll go back to Asteroid, and I'll do the same thing here. We can get rid of this. We can just say apply basic movement to this, pass in delta time. Now I'll say wrap true as well. Okay, now let's try to draw an asteroid. We can start. One thing I want to do is actually get context in here rather than using the global one. It's just better to have the dependencies passed in as parameters rather than using global variables. Okay, so first what we can do, we can just do a basic, we can just draw a basic circle or a box. So we can do begin path, and actually before that we need to do stroke style. Did we define a color before? Let's define some colors. And I will say entities. It will be white for now. And I will say background. And that will be whatever this is. We'll say color dot background, and in here we will say color dot entities. Okay, go back. Actually, okay, I have the color. Import the color. And I'll say color dot entities. Begin path, and I'll say move to this dot position dot x, this dot position dot y, and let's just draw a circle for now. You can say arc or arc2. I think it's arc. Say this dot, no wait, it would be 0 because we are already at that location. What's the, okay, then it takes radius, start angle, end angle, and the last parameter is optional. Okay, we can just say 5 for radius, or we can say this dot size. Actually, we'll convert our enum to a number in a second. This dot size, and the angle, start angle will be 0, and end angle, we want the full circle, so we're gonna have to use 2 pi because that's 360 degrees. Arc, and we will do close path and then stroke. Okay, and now we'll define some size here, maybe 2, 5, 8, some random size. We'll adjust them afterwards. Get rid of this. Okay, we need to do the, we'll add a to do here to use the shape instead of a circle. We also need to define some shapes. Okay, now I think this looks good. Let's go back to the main file. Let's just define some basic asteroid here. Const asteroid equals new asteroid. We will say new vec2 200 200. Velocity will be 0. Let's define a new constant here for 0 vectors. We can say static get 0. Yeah, so this get syntax is just a getter, So you can access this property as, for example, if I have an asteroid variable, you can access it as asteroid.0 instead of calling the function. And we can do return new vec2 0 0. The reason why I didn't put this as a static property instead is because I don't want to vent out the same object. Every time someone asks for a 0 vector, you want to give them a new object. So 0, and after that, what was that? Velocity, size, and shape ID. I mean, we're not using shape ID, so it could be whatever. Asteroid size, I would say asteroid size dot small. I don't have that import. Okay, we need to export that, go back, import that, and pass in 0 here for now. Okay, let's draw this asteroid. So in our main loop, we're calling draw player, so we can say draw. We can say asteroid.draw. Pass in context. Yeah, we'll move our player to a class as well, so we have a consistent syntax. But we'll do that later. Yeah, this main file is becoming pretty large actually. We'll do that probably next episode. Okay, we gotta do also update as well. Actually, we have the player update. We'll do asteroid.update delta time as well here. Okay, let's see if we get any. What are these errors? Okay, we can get rid of those. All right, that didn't work. So what are we doing wrong? Why is it a line? I think I see. We gotta do save and restore in here. Yeah. Okay, that was not the issue. Do I need to do this? Yeah, okay. Oh wait, I did translate again. I mean move to again, it should be translate. Okay, it's a very small circle, so let's give it a big size. I'll scale it by maybe 10. Okay, there we go. Okay, I mean we need to define some vertices for it instead of using a circle, so let's do that now. So I'm gonna create a new constant here. Now let's say asteroid shapes. So each shape is just a list of vertices, right? So this will be actually array of vertices. So vertices actually vec2. Yeah, a vertex is vec2. So we have this as vertices, and then you have the array of vertices. Now this is one set of vertices, and then you have multiple sets, right? So each for its one for each shape. So I'm gonna paste some predefined shapes that I wrote down after tracing it from the original game. Let me copy that. Okay, let's take a look here. Get rid of this. Yeah, I have to define it as a pair of elements in an array. So we can just do that for now. So we don't actually need to specify this type. It's just to show you guys, but let's get rid of it. But in this case, it's just a pair of x and y's. We'll map those two vectors when we actually loop over this class, or when we use the shape. Get rid of this. Okay, now, so based on the shape ID, we want to pull that list of vertices for that shape. Okay, so maybe we can define some private function here called construct shape, and you can define vertices here. It's array of rect2. Yeah, so each shape has its vertices. So construct shape, and we will say this dot vertices equals the constant with shape ID dot map, and we can use x, y, new vec2 x, y, like that. You also want to make sure that the shape ID is within the array length of shapes we have. So we can we do assert here? No, it's okay. We don't need to do that validation here. Okay, and I call this dot construct shape. I mean, this doesn't need to be its own function. We can just do this and get rid of that. That's fine as well. Just say construct shape from predefined shapes. Okay, now let's draw that shape, and what we can actually do is we can just reuse, I think we have a draw function, draw shape, yeah, that we use for the player. We can use that. This dot position, this dot vertices. I think this function does the localization as well. Yeah, we can get rid of that. We can get rid of the rules as well. Okay, yeah, you want to be able to actually scale this, so maybe we can do scale here, and we can define some constant asteroid scale. It's just a magic number that lets us tweak it to some size that we like, because when we drew the circle earlier it was pretty small. So we can just say asteroid scale. It actually needs to be based on the size, so we can do this dot size into asteroid scale. Okay, now if we go back, let's see what happens. Okay, there we go. We have a pretty big asteroid. All right, so let's Reduce the scale to 2 maybe. Okay, let's use the big one. I mean, let's use the small one as an example. We go back to our main. Where do we create the asteroid? And then okay, it's actually small one. So the small ones based on the game looks almost the same size, or a little bit smaller than the player ship. So we'll use that as a reference. Okay, I'll reduce it a little bit further. Well, if it's 1, we don't need it at all. I mean, that looks fine for a small asteroid. Okay, then we can get rid of it. We can just use the asteroid size defined by the enum. So we go here, get rid of that, and now if we go back, right, if we go back to our main, we can try out the other shapes. So for shape 1, for example, we got something like that. For shape 2, we got something like that. We can try different sizes as well. There we go. For large, yeah, we got something like that. Yeah, that looks okay. All right, let's try giving it some velocity and see if they move. Let's give it, I don't know, some values. Okay, that's way too fast again. 0.1, 0.1. Okay, perfect. They should wrap as well. All right. I mean, it looks a bit jerky because half of the asteroid is outside of the screen, and then as soon as the middle point, the center of the asteroid goes past the screen, then it wraps. But that's the behavior in the original game, I think. If we want, we can do a trick to have it drawn, like for example, whatever piece is outside, whatever area of the asteroid is outside the screen, we can redraw that part on the other side. Yeah, maybe we can take a look at that afterwards. That'll be something interesting. Okay, now yeah, I really want to clean up this main.ts file, because we have a bunch of things going on here, and I want to move player to its own class. So maybe we can do that now, and then we will end this episode. Okay, so the first thing I want to do is take all the player stuff, create a new file called player.ts, paste that here, and then I will create a new class called player, or we can actually call it ship, because it's just a ship, right? Or player ship. Yeah, I don't know, ship maybe. Get rid of this, and then we will do okay, we need to wrap these properties. So we'll take a constructor, and we'll take not the angle, not the thrust, position and velocity we can take. So we can just say public position vec2, public velocity vec2. And then yeah, we can just do angle is a number, thrust is a number, last pulse time is a number, it's a boolean, we can put them here, and we can initialize them in the constructor. So we'll say this dot angle equals 0, this dot thrust equals 0, this dot last pulse time equals 0, and this dot pulse equals false. Okay, import our vector class. What else is remaining? Okay, we need the update and draw functions. So let's go back to our main, get the draw player and get the update. Let's pull in the whole update. We'll remove the asteroid later. Go back to player, paste that here, remove that, let's call it draw. We'll get context in here, so we'll say canvas rendering context, and then wait, does draw shape not take context, or it just uses the global one? Let's pass that in. It's kind of annoying, but this was a bit convenient. Okay, let's leave that for now. We can just not use this context. I mean, if it's not used, then no point in having it here. Okay, we'll come back to that. So all instances of player will become this. Okay, and then same here. Oh, a lot of instances. Okay, and then we can import the movement function, get rid of the asteroid update, and in here we'll say this, because I had to do here to remove the any. Okay, go back. We need the input, so we will take that in here. Will be private input, will be keyboard, and then in here we can say this dot input, this dot input, same thing here. And we need to import the key. Okay, yeah, looks okay. Go back to our main file. We need a generic update function here, right? And then we need a draw function here. So in here we will call draw. Yeah, let's actually pass the context in here. So we'll pass it everywhere. Yeah, update will take delta time, number, then also the timestamp for now. Okay, this looks okay. Now in our draw we will okay, let's first actually define the player. We'll say new ship. Okay, so position will be new vec2 100 100. New vec2 velocity will be, I don't know, 0.2 0.2, and after that it was the input. Okay, passing our keyboard, and then in update we will say player.update dt. Okay, yeah, gotta pass in now as well, and then we'll say asteroid.update for now. Later on we'll have a collection of them, not just one. Pass in now here. I mean, we don't use now right now, but it will be useful for calculating some kind of intervals. And also it's just like we can define the update signature on a base class, and then it's gonna have to match. Okay, let's move this up here, move the constant up here. Okay, and this is actually related to the loop. We can actually move the loop out of this class as well. We can do that in another episode. Okay, now in the draw we're gonna just draw the player, pass in context, and then we can draw the asteroid as well. Okay, now if I go here, I want to use this context, so I don't want to use. So actually for draw shape I'm gonna change the signature to accept context, and I'm gonna say canvas render context, and I'm not gonna use this one. And clear screen needs that too, so we will pass that here as well. Okay, all right, go back, pass that here, same thing here, and pass that here. Okay, looks good. Yeah, clear screen needs that as well. Pass that there. Now if we go back to our movement, right, we did this hack here. Let me just say any for now, so not even asteroid. Yeah, but what we're gonna do is we're gonna create an entity class next time, and we'll inherit player, asteroids, bullets, all our entities from that base class, and then we can accept that base class here. Okay, yeah, there we have our asteroid, and I think we can end our episode here today. Thanks for watching. See you next time.